ครับ
There's a little lever on the side.
Turns one way.
I think you need a lever on the other side. Did that piston go? Where are the entire gears? Through there. And then it fun?
Wait, it just went the other way.
Try and make that operate with your fingers or something.
Okay, what? It's working somewhere.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode by Brian World, to another new episode to the New Day vlog. So I have a lot to get through in this video. So, because of course I haven't done a bagel life update day vlog in quite a while now. But there's some big stuff in this one, like right behind this camera, which we'll get onto a little bit later. But for right now, I'm just gonna get right into it. My review for the 13 Reasons Why season 2. So yeah, so this, I know this is late. I wasn't too worried about getting this one out right away, but I did watch it. I did start watching it the day it came out, on Friday. I can't remember what exact day, but it was, I know it was a Friday, so yeah, it was the same Friday that Deadpool 2 went in the theaters. So yeah, so let's just get right into it. So, and I believe I finished it in like 4 days or something like that, and my mom finished it in like 3. So I was way ahead of her, but she just like binge watched on the last second and finished it. But yeah, so 13 Reasons Why season 2 is of course the second season to last year's very controversial season 1, based on the book by Jay Asher. And last year I did a review / discussion on season 1, so the video with that in it is linked down in the description. But this one will be more of just a review. Anyway, it stars all of the same people from season 1 with some new characters like Cyrus, his sister Mackenzie, Chloe, Jackie, Nina, Sonia, Coach Rick, Barry and Nora Walker, Carolyn, and Caleb. This season takes off just a few weeks after season 1 left off, where they were starting the trials for Hannah Baker's parents against Liberty High School. And throughout the episodes, each of the bigger characters have their turns testifying. And that was good because it basically takes each story from each of the 13 tapes from season 1, but finishes the story, or tells more of it, or from the other people's points of view. And since each character is already pretty mentally and physically damaged by the start of this season, Clay Jensen isn't dealing with Hannah's suicide still, and she visits him she visits him mentally a lot throughout the season, even getting him to do not so good things. And Tony is just now fully opening up about his homosexuality and starts to date his boxing trainer, Caleb, after telling a story about when he dated Ryan and got into an insanely brutal fight with a man that called them names, and picked a fight that also goes to the boxing place and has a scar on his face, but does not seem to remember Tony. Anyway, of course, after Bryce sexually assaulted Justin's girlfriend Jessica after shoving him out, he ends up leaving his addicted mother and his abusive stepfather and goes homeless for 3 months until Clay and Tony track him down and keep him at Clay's house, where his parents later figure out about and decide that it will be fine. It is then revealed that Bryce's whole squad of jocks is covering them up, and they have this secret place called the clubhouse behind the school baseball field where they get girls high or drunk, take a picture of them with a Polaroid, and then put the picture in a collection of them in a box, and then they sexually assault them. The coach is also just ignoring them, or just ignoring all the other people, and constantly tries to get Mr. Porter off of his players. And after he let Hannah leave his office, Mr. Porter takes matters into his own hands a lot more, including choking Bryce in the bathroom, as seen on the trailer, and fighting Justin's stepfather, getting both of them arrested. And later on, Mr. Porter gets let off by the school, where after all he's done, we don't hear from him again from, I believe, episode 12. And he leaves some files of students that need extra attention, which just get ignored. So anyway, Tyler becomes good friends with a kid named Cyrus and starts dating his sister Mackenzie later on. The pair loves revenge and schemes, so they post pictures and videos of Marcus spray paint the baseball field and then burn the word rapist right into the center of it, etc. And they also go out onto a neighbor's field and shoot guns. Tyler starts switching to the emo gothic way of life and becomes a lot better of a person, until he posts the pictures of them vandalizing the field and the two stop being friends. Tyler also gets bullied and locked in a room at one point for his testimony, and overall he is definitely the most conflicted character in the show now, because eventually he gets sent off to a program and returns later with a buzz cut now, and he finds out that Mackenzie has a new boyfriend, but he becomes friends with Cyrus again, and just as everything was going good for him now, it all goes south very fast. So basically, after all of the testimonies, Bryce has a talk with his mom, and she ends up slapping him, and he ends up getting off the hook even after raping over 20 girls or something like that, and the school ends up winning the case. But outside, Bryce gets arrested, but so does Justin, but it was all planned out because Justin didn't do anything wrong. He's just been addicted to heroin and had to say what had to be said. But at the trial for jail time, Jessica gets to speak out finally, and it does this weird montage that showed all of the different women speaking out, including Hannah. That was actually just Jessica speaking for all of them. But still, Justin gets 6 months in jail, and Bryce only gets 3 months probation, and his dad is proud. But he does get transferred to a new school where he promises to turn things around and start back as a junior. And it doesn't seem like he is actually becoming good again, because now I think the main antagonist will be his sidekick Montgomery, or Monty, because he is furious with Tyler for getting the baseball season canceled and all of the other stuff he's done, so he talks to Bryce about getting him and smashing his skull. But Bryce actually tells him to let it go. But after the epic giant hallway battle scene, which is actually pretty good, and the ghetto area confrontation against him, and he's had enough and ignores Bryce. So in the most controversial scene from the season that I think they may have gone a little overboard too, Monty and 2 of his friends find Tyler in the bathroom and talk to him as he apologizes. But then Monty shatters the mirror with his head and then slams it off a sink a couple of times, and then drags him into a stall where he puts his head in the toilet. Tells his friends to pull down his pants and hold him there as he grabs a mop, and I'm not going to go any further, because this scene is almost unspeakable and was just shocking, and it made me cringe about as much as the broken mirror face grating scene from Marvel The Punisher Season 1, and the curb stomp scene from American History X. And that's pretty much the last we see of Monty, and I hope that in the next season he and Bryce end up getting much worse consequences. Anyway, in Season 1 we saw Tyler with a box full of his rifles, submachine guns, shotguns, etc. Well, a little after the assault happens, he tells his mom that everything is okay, but then takes the box out of a hole in his basement wall, and he now has a couple of pipe bombs. And at the ending scene at the school ball, he texts Mackenzie, and everyone else is dancing and taking pictures. And for most of the season, Sherry stays with Justin to detox him, but at the house one night he starts it again, but he does it in his foot now, so it's less noticeable. And then at the dance he starts sweating and goes into the bathroom, and I thought that he was going to overdose. But he actually just sits alone for a little bit, and eventually Jessica goes in, and they end up finally getting back together. Anyway, with all of the school shootings lately, this was the second most controversial scene of this season, but luckily Clay tells everyone to lock the doors, and he goes out to meet Tyler all loaded up, walking to the gym. And in an emotional scene, he ends up stopping him and lowering his rifle, and then Tony with his Mustang all back to perfect since it got demolished earlier by the jocks while it was parked. Tyler jumps in and they zoom off, with the cops near. And then Clay stands there with his rifle in his hand, and Jessica and Justin ask what they do now, and then it ends. Anyway, a few other summary type things that I want to talk about are Chloe feeling forced to stay with Bryce since she figures out that she is pregnant. Hannah's mom ends up closing her pharmacy and moves to New York to live Hannah's dreams. Alex Standall recovers throughout the season but still has to walk with a cane, and he now has a much better looking brown hair instead of the bleached and no ear gauges. Cyrus transfers to a new school. Everyone has a memorial for Hannah. Her parents complete their divorce. Zach becomes full-on friends with everybody else, and he splits himself from the jocks over time, eventually quitting the baseball team as well. Clay and Sky end up having to break up after Sky gets sent to a mental facility. Marcus ends up losing all of his Harvard chances at one point. At one point, Clay goes to Bryce's house with Hannah following him, reciting her tape about the hot tub assault scene from Season 1. And then he luckily gets stopped by Justin from shooting Bryce or himself, and much more. But overall, for my pros, first off, pretty much all of the problems were resolved in this season, like full stories, Hannah being a bully with her 2 friends at her old school, and a lot more. better character building and continuity fixes. I also like the soundtrack better in this season. It's quite a bit easier to watch because it has a lot more action, intensity, and creative shots, lighting, etc. But sadly, I do still have a lot more flaws than pros. First off, whenever Cyrus and Tyler were shooting the pistols in the forest, or when characters were talking outside, the audio was insanely weird and sounded like it was dubbed over or something. But for the main issues that caused cringe or controversy were still there, and were even worse. Because again, the tapes only had about 3 out of 13 reasons that are actually horrible, life-changing experiences. But the rest were like Clay agreeing with Hannah to kiss, and then she just screams at him to get out, and her having a bad day. So when Zach tries to calmly talk to her, she screams at him to go away, and much more. But the main plot of this season is her mom and her attorney going up against the school district and their attorney for not paying enough attention to bullying, and that they were the main reason why she killed herself. And that is so dumb, because the last episode of season 1, she went to Mr. Porter's office and talked to him, but then she starts yelling at him after not wanting to open up about anything, and tries leaving his office multiple times until he finally lets her. And then she hides around the corner and then says, "Why didn't you come for me?" But also, like I've talked about a couple of my other Tribune articles, this season has the scene where Jessica speaks out for all the other women. And there were also a few scenes like this that, like that one, including where Sherry says men can't control themselves. This is something that only women have to deal with all the time, which just bugs me because yes, I know women are victims usually more, but the news and shows and movies make it seem like men don't deal with it at all, and that they're just sexually driven animals. But also like how season 1 showed/glorified way too much graphic suicide content and got slammed for it. This season does probably more, with the bathroom assault scene and how the almost school shooting scene had the cool lighting of the mixed blue and pink, almost like a John Wick film. But also the acting is still pretty bad for the majority of the cast, and also how season 1 was based off of the book and ended with cliffhangers that were not in the book, and now they made a season 2, and they are pretty much undoubtedly making at least one more season, if not 2 more. It just seems like they're banking off of suicide, assault, and many other problems. And also how they say at the end of each episode, for help with crisis, go to 13reasonswhy.info for help. Like, why not just send them straight to the crisis line or website instead of trying to get more website views? And that is pretty much it. So overall, I know this review was kind of choppy and out of order, but I was trying to get, or not to summarize the season and keep it shorter. But anyway, 13 Reasons Why Season 2 was better than Season 1 in my opinion, but still had tons of problems. I think it is worth a watch if you watched Season 1 last year, but I want to start back at the beginning of Season 1 and try catching up because it's probably not worth doing all that. So yeah, so that was my review for 13 Reasons Why Season 2. Happy to finally get that out of the way. And yeah, so now we will move on to the next thing. Alright guys, so first off I think I'm going to show this. So new drawing. Of course, once again, you know all my band drawings and stuff, and this isn't a new one for another band or anything. Of course, I've already drawn one drawing for Basile, but since he's my second favorite band and everything, I just decided to finally draw another one for him, and of course this one's much bigger, and it's for his 3 official albums, because I know he breaks them into part 2s, and his albums are a lot more confusing than most artists, but these are the main ones. I know Wild World is just a flat out album, but Versus is technically sometimes part of Bad Blood, and all this Bad Blood is part of Bad Blood. So yeah, but just main album covers. So yeah, so 3 albums. So of course right there I put the thing that's at the top of every album cover, the Bad Steel presents Basile, my signature, and then Versus Other People's Heartache right there, which you can kind of see I put that, and I really do like how that looks. And then all this Bad Blood. I asked my dad what car that is. He believes it's some sort of Pontiac. I searched it up and I could not find it. I'm pretty sure I found it before, but for right now I'm just saying it's some sort of Pontiac. So if you're still watching, which I doubt anyone is, then just comment if you know what that is. But yeah, so this isn't amazing, I will admit that. I think it could have been a lot longer. It looks really cartoony. But you guys know I have a whole book of car drawings right here and everything, but I always draw them like that from the side and everything, and they're really good drawings, and those are some of the best some of the drawings that I'm best at. but when I'm drawing it like sideways and stuff with the door open and all that, it's a lot harder. But yeah, so all this I put like the shredded with the kind of cool little darker bits scattered throughout, and then Bad Blood and quotation marks with his little triangle, and then yeah, the car, just the abandoned car with the door open on that, and then the mountains in the background. And then right here, Wild World. I don't know if that creature thing has a name, but he or she is from the music video Send Them Off, which is one of my favorite songs from Wild World. Not my favorite, but one of them. But yeah, so then I just put his logo right there. Of course, I drew it in the background real big right there. But yeah, so that's that. I don't know, that's not even like his full logo. It's usually just a triangle, but that one's mainly Wild World, since it's like the Wild World Incorporated or whatever it was, from like Fake It and all that. But yeah, so then I just put the city, kind of like the album cover with the two guys sitting looking over the city and everything. And then yeah, I outlined that. I colored that purple and outlined it in pink, which I think looks really cool. I really like this one. It's pretty darn simple, but it's probably my favorite one on this drawing. And then Wild World in quotation marks. Yeah, so that's my new drawing right there. And then over here for me, I actually just made this today, along with another thing, which I'll show in a second. But you guys know this is my 3 little Minecraft things right here. But yeah, so my diamond sword, my torch right there. But now I actually made my first ever like Lego pixel art, which from right here you can see it's Lego, and it's not as 3D. But if you go back here, I really like it. Like, that really just looks like a golden apple up there. And I just kind of looked at a picture on Google Images and did it. And so yeah, so didn't take me insanely long. But basically just built the backboard kind of thing, and then went on top of that and connected it all and everything. So yeah, so the black outline, then some brown for the starting of the stem and the bottom right there, and then that. So I might make some more in the future, but as of right now, that's it. But yeah, and you can see when it splits off right there. And then a little shine, and yeah, 3D. So it's kind of just on there, because I wanted to put in my Minecraft corner, or whatever you want to call this. So I just decided to put it right there. And whenever I put stuff on my wall, I kind of like hit the wall and make sure it's not going to fall over, and that didn't, so that's good. But now for the biggest change of them all, which I was talking about in the 13 Reasons Why Season 2 review. Yes, this. So if you guys remember, I used to have a big old desk, which I actually really liked, and it had the 3 shelves kind of like curving right there, and the desk and everything, in my chair and all that, which I've had ever since before I started this YouTube channel. So I've had it for quite a darn while. But it turns out the glass is tempered glass, which I've never had to really deal with before. My dad has, but I never knew that. So if I knew that, I probably would have checked before I put my TV and my hot lava lamp and all that stuff on it. But also underneath, all that was holding it up was just like some bars and stuff. It wasn't even like a plain flat solid surface. So yeah, so it's just pretty much tempered glass holding it up for all those years. And yeah, so I woke up. I'll show you a video. I'll show you the pictures right now as I'm talking about it. But yeah, so I woke up. This was almost a week ago now, I believe, for me. But yeah, so I woke up to like this like sound, like, you know, on like video games or when you freeze stuff and it kind of makes that crackling freezing noise. Well, I woke up to that at about 3 o'clock, and this is about 3 or 4 hours after I went to sleep. And I just kind of ignored it, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just something outside or what. But then all of a sudden, like, I just could not fall asleep because it kept on going, and every once in a while I heard something like fall, and it sounded like it was like hitting my garbage or something. So then I just got up and looked up because I was starting to get terrified, and I turned on my light. And then I thought, for some reason, I thought that, because my bedroom's under all the pipes and stuff, so I thought that black goo was falling from my ceiling. From what I saw on my desk. I just thought that because it was also right as I woke up. But then I got up and I had no idea. I was honestly pretty terrified. Like, I've woken up to worse things, but this was definitely up there. And my desk was just completely just shattered, and I had no idea. I thought someone broke in or something and someone like shattered my desk. I don't know why they would have just shattered my desk and not taken the TV that's right on top of it. Yeah, and then so I went up, and then my little brother's always sleeping in the living room, so he wasn't there for once, and so I was just like, well, God, where's he? And I was expecting my parents to be gone or something, but luckily they were there, and I went and got them, and then pulled them down here, and then they checked it out, and my dad explained that it was either since it's tempered glass, it was either from the stress of the TV pushing on it over time, or it could have been like a nick, or like a kind of chip that like something fell on it at one point and kind of chipped it. So then it reacted with the heat from my hot lava lamp that I have on like all night every night. And then just over time, the heat reacted with the chip, and eventually it just shattered or something. But I guess we'll never know for sure. But it was definitely one of those things. But we took it apart and we were just gonna keep the 3 shelves. But I decided to just have away with those as well, because I mean those were being held up by just little square bars as well, and they weren't holding near as much in the main part. But I just knew that within the next year or so, those are probably going to shatter as well. So the next day I spent about 3 hours or so just sitting down here cleaning up the majority of the glass with my hands and gloves and stuff. And then I vacuumed up like all the microscopic stuff. It was a big old mess, and while I was cleaning up, more of it was falling and stuff, so it was pretty bad. So that's my little story time on that. So this is my next thing. The next day we went to Walmart and we were looking for desks for something coming up that I will show you. It's pretty big. It's coming up in one of the next videos. But for now I'm just showing this. But so this is my new thing. I decided I didn't need a desk because if you watch the last Christmas video, or not the last Christmas video, it goes by so fast. 2016 Christmas video, I believe. Yeah. I got an awesome art desk that kind of goes up and down as you want it, and it has like a gyroscopic pencil holder and just all that cool stuff, which I really love that, and that's where I do all my drawing and stuff. And other than that, I never really did anything on my desk. Down here is mainly just to hold stuff. Of course the main drawer did hold a lot of art stuff, but now all of my art stuff, including, you might be wondering where my big old art kit that I also got for that Christmas is. But basically all the art stuff that was in my desk and my art kit and everything is with my desk now. So all of my art stuff is with my art desk. So it kind of made it a little easier, to be honest. Basically with the new thing that I will show in the next, one of the next upcoming videos, I'm donating my chair to that. So it's going to be upstairs in my mom's office. We're kind of turning that into a doTERRA / actual home office and everything. So I'll show that. We're getting like whole PC setup and stuff, but I will explain all that in one of the next upcoming videos. But yeah, so this is my new thing. I guess you could call it an entertainment center. It's not ginormous. It was, I believe, it was only like $80 or something like that, so it's pretty darn good, I'd say. I built it. My dad helped me a little bit, just kind of, because I had no idea what these were, because of course I like work with building stuff a lot, but I had no idea what these were. I can't remember what they're called, but you basically put like the screw in right here, and then you tighten those, and then it tightens like both of them. So it's kind of weird. So a few new little things in here that I've never seen before. So the main top shelf right there, and then it has 2 little side shelves, one in the middle, and then of course one on the bottom, which splits into 3, of course. And that's held up by these 2 metal bars right there. And then this one has a nail-on backboard type thing with a little hole for the wires back there. But the other good thing is my last one, if you looked under, you could see all of my wire mess. But now this one, I mean, you can't see near as much, because all you can see is like those wires right there, and then all the rest of it is all hidden behind this backboard, and then through here you can just see my power strip right there. So honestly, a lot more clean looking. So kind of scared about this right now. I think tomorrow or something, where we might be getting a tile or something to put this on, just in case, because I am now staying away from anything with tempered glass, because after that I've already had enough. But it kind of sucks because most cool desks have tempered glass all over them. but once tempered glass doesn't get its way, it just goes. But yeah, so we're probably gonna get a tile, so I'll show that on the next day vlog or whatever, if we do. But for now, it's just right there. But yeah, and then of course my little bamboo over here is just sitting right there, and then my diffuser right here, so now it's not under a shelf or anything, which is also good, so it can spread a lot more. My little office thing, or my little office divider thing that I made right there, kind of just empty shelf. Other than that, my Zen garden on that side, and of course my TV main front and center there. And then this one right here, I actually moved my Ready Player One Funko keys down from all the way up there, so now there's a whole bunch of empty space right there, just to down here, because they're really cool, and I think they would look good on this desk and everything. And then right there is the pop box for something I will show in a second. I just kind of put it right there to still have it on display. But yeah, so, and then my DVD player is on this shelf right here. So yes, that's all front and center, and then I actually moved my little Emmett 3D thing right there instead of up here. So then I just moved my Hunger Games trilogy book, since it was kind of hidden right there. I moved it to where my Emmett thing used to be, right there. So yeah, so but that kind of brings me on to the next thing, which is over here. So you guys know my Outrider dropship attack set. I used to have that ship right there, but I moved that over here just because for extra room and just to put it next to all these other sets. But basically this is a new Lego set, and I know I said that I don't usually get Lego sets anymore, and if I do, they're like very small or anything like that, just like the little tiny small ones like that, because of course my room used to be covered with just huge Lego sets and stuff. But I'm just mainly into minifigures now, collecting those. But basically, we've had the store for as long as I can remember, called Amazing Toys, downtown Great Falls. And yeah, so it was just kind of like more like toys that you wouldn't usually see. They're actually shutting down now. So the owner, my mom worked there every once in a while. So she of course got like a separate discount, but then since they're shutting down, they're selling like everything, including the shelves and all that. So we went on the first day, which was like 20% off everything, and then now it's like 10% off this, 20% off that. But we're probably gonna go back later on when it gets to be like way cheaper, like 75% off or anything. But on the first day, I just decided to get this. It's a set I've been wanting, but I didn't want to pay $30 for it, of course. But since it was 20% off with my mom's discount, it was like $20 or something like that. And of course, my little brother got some stuff, and then I also got another thing, which you would have saw in the intro. Which, by the way, hopefully you guys liked the intro. That was one of my biggest intros for a day vlog in quite a while. But hopefully you guys liked all that photography and just all that stuff. I have a lot of pictures for the intro, which you guys would have saw. We would have saw like a new Easy Roller, so we're probably gonna have to do some videos on that this summer. Yeah, so you guys know my Easy Roller. I've had it for like 6 years now or something like that, but it was just a classic Easy Roller without the curved bar on the back and the flames on the seat. The classic original Easy Roller back from like when they first came out. And I've done quite a few videos on it, and yeah, I've just been riding that thing forever. Then my little brother got one instead of the 2 plasma cars. And then he got an Easy Roller Pro for his birthday, which we both really wanted when they have the new brakes and a lot bigger in the big old wide wheels. But yeah, so my dad texted my mom when we were waiting in the big old line there at Amazing Toys, because my mom asked me if I want to go look for one. And they only had an Easy Roller Mini and just a regular Easy Roller. But then my dad texted my mom, and she was just like, "Does Brennan want a Pro?" And so I was just like, "Did he find one?" And yeah, he found one, and it was just, of course, black with like kind of silver speckles. So yeah, so I got an Easy Roller Pro, which that was really, really awesome. But yeah, so it's also just pretty darn awesome because like for all this, you guys might be thinking like we're getting a lot, but it's also because like my mom and dad and all that just kind of like got all their like debt and stuff like paid off and everything, so we're not just like going out and blowing it all, but it's just like a lot easier for them and all that stuff. So yeah, so it's pretty darn nice knowing that, and I will kind of carry on to the next episode for that. But it's not just for like gaming and stuff for Rayton or whatever. It's also for like school and stuff, because it's like the PC setup and everything. But that's gonna be really cool. But also that next video, or not next video, but one of the next videos. But yeah, so this was the Lego set I got. Of course, it is the main ship from Black Panther, the Royal Talon Fighter. The ship, or the set is called the Royal Talon Fighter Attack, I believe. But yeah, so honestly, like, I'll have some pictures of both of these when I'm done talking about them. But this is a lot heavier. Like, I mean, it's pretty darn good size. It's a little bigger than I thought it was gonna be. But honestly, like, I don't think I've ever had a set that's this, like, size, that's this heavy. Like, this thing is pretty hefty. So yeah, so I really like how it looks. Also, like, it's the little panther looking face thing on it, and that opens to a weird little jail, and you can kind of fit 2 people in there almost. But yeah, and then I just really like how that looks. It also came with really good minifigures. But you can search up pictures if you want to see them a little bit better. But you guys know I have my custom Black Panther right there from, like, Civil War. But this one's from, like, Black Panther, the Black Panther movie, and Infinity War. But yeah, so it came with Black Panther. The only thing I don't like is for some reason, Lego always has their eyes open now. You can see his eyes through there. I don't know why they do that, because you can never see his eyes while he's in the suit in the movies. But yeah, so that minifigure's alright. I really like the printing and the little ears and stuff, but probably my least favorite from the set, but he was pretty darn good still. But I also do like the little, like, kind of gray background triangles all over. But then probably my second favorite, or my third favorite, is right here, Nakia. One of the, I believe it's a brand new hairpiece, I can't really remember, but it's definitely a new hairpiece to me. But then she also comes with, like, I believe these are also new pieces, these her two little ring weapons that you can see there. It actually came with an extra one, so yeah, so that's pretty darn cool. And also the printing on her is, like, amazing, and her little belt has a little panther on it and everything, so really like that hairpiece. And then probably my second favorite one, well, probably my first favorite for minifigure overall, but my first one for, like, how he looks, like, with the mask and everything, be that one. But my second favorite one there is of course Ulysses Claw from Age of Ultron and Black Panther, of course. And for his hand, they kind of just gave him one of those new gauntlet pieces, which you can kind of see there, that they also use for Shuri's Panther gauntlets. Yeah, so, and then you can see his little necklace there and his face, which people say look a lot more like Wolverine, which I can see. And then also, I believe that somewhat new hairpiece, definitely new hairpiece for me, that they also use for, like, the new Doctor Strange, of course, just with a few white stripes in it. But really like his printing and all that. And then, of course, Killmonger, not in his main suit, but in his one from, like, when he breaks him out of jail and everything, or the interrogation room. But you can see his little armor vest there, and then his pants. And then the main part why I liked it is this hard rubber mask that from the museum. And I don't know if you can see the printing that well, but the printing is just, like, amazing. And it's good that he has this mask, because they just reused the head from the soccer from the Spider-Man Homecoming set. So that's kind of weird, or one of them, the little heist set. But yeah, but the mask is really cool. I definitely really wanted that. That was my most wanted thing one of my most wanted things from the set. And he also did, Ulysses Claw did come with a little shock lightning bolt kind of thing that came out of his hand blaster thing, which I thought was really cool. That's my first and only one of those pieces, so I just put it right there, which you can kind of see right there, but because it just would not fit right there. But yeah, so that is that set. I will have pictures of those in a second, but also along with that golden apple that I built today, I built this just looking off of a picture off of Google Images, which there was only, like, one decent one, so it's kind of hard. But these are the 2 main ships. I believe the only 2 ships seen in Black Panther, so I decided, since I have that, might as well build the other one, which were kind of like there's only, like, one of those for the king, of course. But this one, there's a lot. It's kind of like the soldiers' ships and stuff, and they're called the Dragonflyers, which you can see I came up with this completely on my own. I even made a little opening engine compartment on the back, and I really like the curves and the katana kind of wings that I made, and then the main wings in the curve. So I really like this, honestly. I think it could look a little better, just for, like, towards the front and stuff, and have a little bit more heft. But I made a little stand so you could see a little better, because in the back it's kind of dark back there. But I will have pictures right now So yeah, so you can just see all of those in better detail and all the opening features on both of those ships. So yeah, so that is pretty much it for those two sets. So hopefully you guys like those. I know I sure do. But yeah, so next up, of course, this shelf currently just has some models on it. Of course, my my two Fast and Furious movies or franchise GTRs, the Skyline and the R35 right there. I just moved over there and just kind of positioned them like that. And then my favorite model of my favorite car of all time, that 2012 Audi R8 V8 silver and black. So yeah, so I just moved those over right there. So now I have, this is just a list for this day vlog. But yeah, so a lot of extra room right there. So yeah, so I just moved those over there. And I also moved my little NFL drawing over there because I had to like rearrange a lot of these movie posters because they were positioned for my old desk. So I basically, once I took my desk out of here, I had to reposition a whole bunch of posters, but it's all good now. So yeah, so next up is my newest pop figure and my new most favorite pop figure. I ordered this on Amazon because I've been waiting to find it in stores, but still have not found it in stores because like at all my stores, all I can ever find is the Iron Man and Iron Spider pop figures, which I do kind of want, like one of those, but wanted this one way more. So this is my favorite one. Of course, you guys know, I've said multiple times, Avengers Infinity War was my #1 most anticipated movie of this year. It's my favorite MCU movie, with my favorite MCU villain, Thanos, played by Josh Brolin, and he's also my favorite comic book villain of all time, and he comes from my favorite like planet/moon in space, Titan, on one of Saturn's biggest moons, and he also wears my favorite comic book item, the Infinity Gauntlet, which of course I showed that a little bit ago on another video, and then that right there, and then all the Infinity War stuff. So and I also made the custom Thanos minifigure right there, made a little Infinity Gauntlet right there. I got the poster back there for that comic book. So yeah, so much Thanos stuff. But now I got the pop figure. Since I couldn't find it in stores, I just finally ordered it. This is not the 10-inch one. It's not the exclusive one. It's just the main one. But I really like it. So you guys probably can't tell. I'll show you some pictures, but this guy is huge, like, for me, because I'm not a huge pop collector, but he's my biggest one, because of course I really do want that like life-size Porg or that life-size Baby Groot, the 10-inch ones, but they're also just like pretty much life-size. But yeah, so they did make a 10-inch Thanos. I believe there's only 4 10-inch pops currently, but this one, he's surprisingly not even a 6-inch one. So what's nice about this guy is he's like I believe one of the biggest pops for the regular pop price, because he was only like the regular like $8 on Amazon for a ginormous pop. But the other thing is, while I was waiting for it in stores, because this did come out like 2 months ago now, but on Amazon he was being sold for like $30 or something like that. So I finally waited and I checked back up on it about a week, like last Friday, and so yeah, so yesterday he finally got here. Or I ordered him on Friday, and I had free 2-day shipping, but of course that's business days, and then he got delayed by a day, so that kind of sucked, but I got him there. So of course, Marvel and Star Wars always have bobbleheads, so he has a bobblehead, and his head's so huge, I'm going to try not to knock him over, but yeah, so he has a bobblehead, of course, and he's also only my 3rd pop with an actual mouth. So yeah, so just the reasons I like him is because, one, how big he is, but also the printing is pretty good. I mean, you got like all the lines all over his face and everything, and also like the paint and print all over his suit and his like collar, and just all like the gold highlights and stuff, and just the accuracy and all that. And on his arms there's even the little creases, and also that kind of goes into molding as well. But also the Infinity Gauntlet looks great. Of course, you got all 6 stones. You got the time one on his thumb right there. And then on each of his knuckles, you got power, space, reality, soul, and then the Mind Stone. Really like how that looks. It could use a little bit more like gold highlights on the Infinity Gauntlet, but it looks pretty darn good. And I also like how they didn't just have him kind of regular pop kind of stance, just with his like 2 arms kind of down. They had this one raised up like that, kind of like he's harnessing the power. But yeah, so then he's just really big. I mean, because that thing's about 6.5 inches tall, and so yeah, so he's like just under 6 inches, I'd say. But yeah, so all the pictures in a second. But of course, in my main pop collection, I got that thing back there, and then the rest of the boxes that I kept. And then those two back there, because I don't like that movie. I just went around just after Christmas, and they were 89 cents. So of course, why would you not get them? I mean, they are pretty nice pops. I just don't like that movie or anything, so I just put them back there because 89 cents each. So yeah, so then of course, rest of my pops there. So the only other ones with mouths is of course Joker, Batman right there, and Sam I Am. So yeah, so. But this guy, of course, has a big old grin. But I believe all the ones with him have the mouth. So I did want the one back a while ago for, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy line where he had all of his armor and stuff. But this one I honestly like a lot better, although I like when he has his suit, even more, like, right there. But it did grow on me a little bit, but I still do like him in his suit a lot more. But, I mean, this pop, I think, is a lot better. Oh yeah, also that garbage that used to be under my desk, I just kind of put that right there now. So didn't know where I was going to put it at first, but it's still out of the way and nice. So yeah, so that was the pop. Of course, still regular sized pop box right there, and I just really like that box, and you can actually see back there, kind of, maybe. It came with one of the cool backgrounds, and it's just all yellow, and it has the Avengers logo. So, yeah, I just think that's kind of cool. And to have that on there. But yeah, so that is finally it for my whole entertainment center thing right there, with all of my new stuff on it. So that's pretty much the main meat of this video. So now we can just get on to the smaller things. So yeah, so pretty darn big update, because this is like, it is kind of nice though, because it's like, it used to cut off like right about there, like the end of my chair used to be right there, so it's kind of hard to set up the tripod for reviews and stuff. So of course I can't do unboxings. I don't usually do them in here anymore anyway. But yeah, so when I do, I guess I'll just have to kind of do them somewhere else. But yeah, so, but overall, just a lot more room in here, so it's honestly kind of nice, and I think this looks pretty good. So my TV is a little bit lower, like a couple inches, I think, but it's still completely fine. So yeah, so that is that. So now on to the next part. So yeah, so now for my updated movie poster wall. Of course, up here it hasn't really changed, but I did say I had to rearrange, which basically all the posters that were going down there in between the shelves of my old desk. As you can see, it's like completely empty, so I basically just moved them all over to here where you wouldn't be able to see them at all before. So yeah, so I have room for a lot more posters now over here, so I did start going over there, but now I'm not going to continue over there for quite a while, because I still have couple more rows right there, and then all down there, and then behind there, and all that. So yeah, so I did just kind of move them around right there. But for my new ones, one is The Karate Kid. I wasn't gonna watch it, but I finally did. And yeah, the original. I haven't seen any of the other ones. I did see the newer one. And I did watch the first 2 episodes of Cobra Kai for the free ones. So it was pretty darn good. I do wanna YouTube Red, but I just want to do the free trial, because I don't care about having YouTube Red other than to finish Cobra Kai. But of course more seasons are probably going to come out, and it's just gonna, the free trial, you still have to put your debit card in it, and I just think that's kind of weird for free trials and stuff, and if you forget, that they instantly charge you. So yeah, so next up, The Goonies. Of course I watched it quite a while ago. I honestly do not like that movie. I think pretty much all the acting is horrible, and I don't know why it's loved so much, honestly. But yeah, so I just thought, like, if I put The Karate Kid up, I might as well put that one up, and it's just a really classic one. So yeah, so I just put that one up. Beast of the Southern Wild going up here. This one was one of the ones recommended in my movies and genre class, and I thought that the trailer looked amazing. It's very indie, and like the whole thing is handheld. It has the girl. It was made like a couple years ago, so it had the main girl from the newer Annie. But yeah, so it's basically about like the hurricane in a place called the Bathtub, and then they basically go on an adventure while the dad's passing away slowly, and yeah, and she kind of just saves her whole community almost. So yeah, so that was very, very good. I loved the main song for it, and also just the behind the scenes with like the pig on the treadmill type thing that was being ran by a guy on a bike with his tire and stuff. So yeah, you can just see how cheap it was, but it was definitely well made, and it was won a lot of stuff at the film festival and stuff, and I believe it was actually nominated for Best Picture, which I did not know. But yeah, so next up, 13 Reasons Why. I decided to finally hang up a poster for it, so that's right there. I don't really need to talk about that anymore. The Goldbergs. right there. Of course, I watch it. I don't think I've seen every episode, but I've seen most of the episodes. But that's like the only show I still regularly watch on TV. Of course, the season just got over because it's summer now. But yeah, just decided to finally hang up a poster, and that's mainly for like the season that just got over, I believe. But I just hung that one up because it's got the full family and the dog. But yeah, so next up is Big Fish right there. That was the last movie we watched in Movies and Genre, and that was really good. It has Ewan McGregor, Billy Crudup, and that was honestly really good. Of course, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of Tim Burton. I've seen a few of his other movies, or other films. Like I have seen I don't have posters up for him, but like Frankenweenie, and Paranorman and stuff. I've seen those movies. I think he directed Paranorman. He also worked on 9, which I do like, but he didn't direct it. But The Nightmare Before Christmas, and also Beetlejuice and stuff. And oh yeah, the 1989 Batman, that was pretty darn good. I believe he directed the first 2 of those 4 right there. Yeah, so that was honestly, without a doubt, my favorite Tim Burton movie. That was honestly really, really good. I really liked that movie. And it also was the first movie that Mr. Wiles has shown me that got my eyes to water. It was very sad at the end and everything. So if you ever get the chance, definitely watch that. I'm sure you've seen the poster for it before, but that was very, very good. Yeah, so next up is The Greatest Showman. Of course, it was nominated for, I believe, an Oscar for Best Original Song. I don't believe it won. It didn't win it because, of course, The Shape of Water won for that, which I think is good because I think the main score for that was better than The Greatest Showman. But the lyricist that worked on this also worked on one of my favorite films of all time, La La Land. But my mom just decided that she wanted to rent this one day, so I was just like, alright, I'll watch it. So Hugh Jackman, since he's done as Logan, aka Wolverine, he's finally getting back onto his musical game more. So this was like his first kind of big comeback as it, but of course it's a big movie. It has Zac Efron. It's like one of his, I just thought it was kind of funny because I was just like, wow, it's like Zac Efron's first musical since High School Musical 3. So this was his first good musical though. And also it's the first movie he's been in since like High School Musical 3 that he's not just like a dumb comedy movie that people that don't like, pretty much anybody that cares for film doesn't like and everybody else does. So really appreciate that, and also, and it's of course about P.T. Barnum and stuff. That was pretty darn good. I think it did get a little bit too long and there was some flaws about it, but honestly it was a pretty beautiful movie, and I really liked most of the songs on it. And so next up is Cargo. I watched the trailer for this because my little brother said it looked pretty good, and he showed me the trailer for it, I think a few weeks ago, and I thought it was going into theaters, but I guess it was just a Netflix original movie. So, after we watched this movie, I don't even recommend it. It was called The Open House. My mom and dad were just like, hey, let's watch this. So we watched it, and it started out good, and it has Dylan Minnette, as the main character and stuff, and it started out good, and it had a lot of cliches like jump scares and all that. So of course by now, like when it showed the there was this one shot where it showed the 2 doorways when he was taking his contacts out, and I was just like, it's gonna go ching and someone's gonna walk in the background, and then like my whole family was just like, oh yeah, and then someone walked in the background and it went ching. So a lot of cliches, but then it just ended. Like, I know most horror movies like that keep their like villain in the dark and like don't reveal him till like the end of the movie are usually the better ones. But this one, it did that, and then at the end it pulled a twist where it just completely did not show it at all. So you're just like left and you're just like, well, that was a complete waste of an hour and 40 something minutes. So it just like ends with him like killing his mom and knocking him out, and then he comes and then accidentally kills his mom, and then he gets chased through the woods and then falls asleep, and then he ends up waking up by the river, takes a drink, and then turns around, and then the guy kills him, and he's like cast as the Man in Black or something like that, and then it just cuts to him, like a car driving to that same house, and it says Open House. And then it ends, and then I was just like, no. And then I went to read the reviews, and I was like reading like the main, on IMDb, I was reading like the main headline for each one to my mom and dad, and we were just like laughing because it was like exactly what we were thinking, and it was just like so bad. I think it has like a 3.3 or something, so definitely don't recommend it. It is free on Amazon, or I mean Netflix. I believe it's Netflix original film or movie. So if you do want to watch it, just to see how dumb it is, you can. But yeah, so the acting from Dylan Minnette in it is actually pretty solid, but other than that, most of the acting is actually pretty good, and there's this whole plot line with, like, this woman, and she was, like, always acting creepy, and she, like, knew him and stuff somehow, and she was, like, acting creepy throughout the whole movie, and then, like, she was saying, like, her dad's, or her husband's dead, and then people were saying, like, oh, she just thinks he's still alive or something, because she was, like, saying that he's still alive. But then, like, at the end, it's just, like, unless if the killer was her husband, like, as a zombie or something, then that plotline was completely useless, and, like, I was just like, why was that even in there? So, enough about that. So then we watched Cargo, actually right after we finished that movie, but this one was a lot better. It's definitely, probably my third favorite, zombie movie, because my first favorite is probably 28 Days Later, and then Shaun of the Dead, and then Cargo. So yeah, so Martin Freeman, pretty good actor, but also it's just a lot more creative of a zombie movie, like how they put their heads in the grounds and stuff, and it's just how he's basically trying to save his baby for the future throughout the whole movie, while he's like trying to fight off becoming the zombie throughout like the whole thing, and he's like stops himself from becoming the zombie like longer than anyone has. But yeah, so that's pretty darn good. And yeah, so honestly, also somewhat unexpected twists and stuff too, so that's pretty darn good. I would recommend checking that one out. So yeah, so next one up is Lady Bird. I was pretty darn happy when I saw that they made this free on Amazon Prime. For Amazon Prime members, it was nominated for I believe a few Oscars, including Best Picture, and of course I usually like coming of age movies, like Edge of 17 and Lady Bird and a few others that I've seen. But this one was definitely one of the better ones, honestly. It was a lot like 20th Century Women, but not as awkward. And honestly, I liked it quite a bit better. But this one is pretty darn good. I honestly, like, don't even know any of the actors or actresses that were in it. Of course, except for, like, Lucas Hedges, because, of course, he was on Manchester by the Sea. But yeah, so that was honestly really good. It was a really good comedy, while at the same time a really good drama, or dramedy, I guess you could say. But yeah, so definitely check that out if you're on Amazon Prime, or if you're an Amazon Prime member. Next up is Carrie. Of course, this is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was just going to hang it up because it was, like, one of the classic, like, horror movies, like, for, like, their main killer anyway. Kind of like Friday the 13th and, the original Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. But honestly, I kind of like this better than both of those movies. Like, this one, it's just, like, really, the beginning scene is really awkward. It's just, like, in the ladies' locker room, and it's just... If you've seen it, you would know what I'm talking about, but it's just really kind of weird at the beginning. Yeah, so, but other than that, it was pretty darn good. It was, like, really creepy throughout the whole thing, just how she acts and stuff, and then the end was pretty darn creative, like how split screen and stuff, and it was pretty darn good ending and everything. So yeah, so definitely check that out if you haven't yet. But yeah, so next up, Kodachrome. I didn't even know about this movie, but it's a Netflix original movie, with, of course, the amazing actors of Ed Harris and actress Elizabeth Olsen. Jason Sudeikis, he's, like, usually a comedian that's not that great of an actor, usually. He's kind of over the top, but this one, he was actually really good, and he was not over the top. He was kind of comedic throughout a lot of it, but it was just kind of brief and subtle and stuff. But also, like, the death at the end of the father when he finally goes, like, because they said, like, oh yeah, we'll have the Kodachrome developed for you by tomorrow, and then I was just like, oh, he's not gonna survive till tomorrow, and yeah, so they did do that, but then, like, they didn't even, like, show it, and, like, I thought that he said, like, do you hear that, and then he kind of just stopped, and Jason Sudeikis comes back out, and then he's just like, Dad, oh, okay. So I thought he just, like, fell asleep, but I also thought that he had, like, a heart attack or something. It turned out that he did die. But yeah, so they made it, like, really subtle and stuff too, but that was a really good movie. I really like the soundtrack, especially, like, the main score for it. But yeah, so also the poster's pretty darn good. But it's basically just about a photographer that's always used Kodachrome, played by Ed Harris, and he's trying to get to the last Kodachrome place that's still developing the Kodachrome pictures and stuff. before they go out for good. So then they get there like a day late, but then his good friend that he's always like developed it with and everything just does it for him, but he doesn't make it. But then his kind of nurse person played by Elizabeth Olsen and her and Jason Sudeikis get together and then just see all the films that it's basically just because they like kind of hated each other throughout the movie, but then it's revealed at the end that or they kind of once she left, they kind of bonded, and then it's revealed at the end that pretty much all of his pictures were photography of like him as a kid and stuff. So yeah, so pretty darn good film. Definitely check that out. So yeah, so those two Netflix original films, probably some of the best of the year, if not the best, in my opinion. But yeah, so then the last one is The King's Speech. This one was added to Netflix, which I was pretty happy about a couple weeks ago, I believe, or just like a week or so ago now. But of course, this is yet another Best Picture winner, so I'm really starting to see a lot of them. I've seen, I believe, almost every one of the 2000s so far, and a good majority of the other ones from before then. But it has Colin Firth, of course, great actor, Geoffrey Rush, and yeah, so this was very, very good. I don't know if Colin Firth won Best Actor, but honestly, I really hope he did, because this one it reminded me a lot of Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, which is also another Best Picture winner. But he had like he was playing King George V, and he can't like give his speech and let because he has like all these speech impediments, and he can't also like walk normally and stuff. So he's like really like, it's like you feel bad for him, but at the same time he's like really stubborn and just always is yelling at everybody. So then it's kind of hard to feel bad for him. But then like he like fears his person that he goes, his other people, the other doctor just puts like glass marble things in his mouth and says like these will help you talk, and they don't work, of course. So he goes to this new guy and he doesn't agree with him for anything, but then he like makes him listen to music and then talk, and then he doesn't believe him, so he just leaves. But then he gives him the record and he listens to it and he's just like, well, I was talking fine. So so then he goes back to him and then they work until he can finally like do a speech and stuff, since his brother like stopped being king, so then it was up to him and everything. So yeah, so definitely a very, very good film. I honestly liked it better than I thought. I also thought it was like 3 hours for some reason. It's just under 2 hours. So yeah, but of course I've seen almost 4-hour movies, so wouldn't it be insanely that horrible? But yeah, so that is all my update. That is all for my updated movie poster wall. Finally, so yeah, so and then yeah, that's it for my updated movie poster wall and everything else updated over here, and my whole main thing, entertainment center, right there. So now the only last thing that I have to do finally is a Clash of Clans account update, because of course I haven't done one in a while. Alright guys, now for my Clash of Clans account update. So yeah, so that's my base now. So I said probably by the next one, all my wall will be level 8. So it took me a while, but yes, all of my wall is now level 8, even all this like bordering stuff throughout there. But yeah, so all of my wall is level 8, of course. But another thing I did is you guys probably remembered that these 4 corners, that one, and that one were level 9. But I decided just to go all out and go around here and make all that wall level 9. So not only is all my wall level 8, but that around there is level 9. So yeah, so of course only like the corners like that actually like flame. But yeah, so pretty darn cool right there. And of course it's kind of nice because you can use once you get to level 8, you can use gold and elixir to gold or elixir to upgrade it, which is of course very nice. But yeah, so next up, of course, both my wizard towers. I believe last time both these were level 6, but now both these are level 8, which is pretty darn high level. So now they're really cool. They got purple with the little pink sparkles, and then the little bars on the side and everything. But then also, I basically went through, I don't know if I showed this last time, but I upgraded my laboratory to level 8. But yeah, so for troop upgrades, I'm now a level 108. I actually reached Master League, so that's pretty darn awesome right there. So yeah, so Master League 3. But for troops right there, all of that. So I believe I upgraded my P.E.K.K.A.s and stuff since last time. But yeah, and I also got a few achievements since last time. And then for my builder base, I'm currently upgrading. They only have, I believe, a day or two, something like that. I can't remember. We'll see in a second. But yeah, but I'm currently upgrading my Night Witches to max level. But the Electro Dragon, I'm almost certain that's coming on the builder base. I don't think they're adding any new troops onto the main base for at least not quite a while, but the Electro Dragon looks pretty darn cool. I'll probably get it pretty much right away, which that probably means a new builder hall level and a few other new things, upgrades and stuff. Yeah, so to finish the main base on here real quick, I also upgraded my third Dark Elixir drill to level 5, so now all 3 of those are level 5. Yeah, so now since I'm all done upgrading my wall for a while, so now what I'm currently working on is saving up to upgrade this double cannon to level 12, so it'll be pretty darn awesome. But also, you guys know I got these statues, that one right there, that one, and then that one, and then that one, but I got the last thing that you spend, like, a lot of gems, since I, like, never use gems, and I just pretty much save them up all the time, I just, every once in a while, would spend them on those, so I have all of them now, so the last one was the pirate flag, so I have that now. So other than that, I think that's pretty much all the main things for this base. But what's also kind of cool is we're in the middle of a clan games right now. It's a pretty big one. Goes all the way up to level 7. But yeah, so we have almost completed that now. I don't know if that's a lag. I think it usually says clan games right there, but it says whatever that is, some coding error or something. Yeah, so what was kind of cool is on the previous clan games, it was my first time ever maxing out, and I do have pictures of that, so here are those right now. So it wasn't a huge clan games, it was just like the regular one where you can go up to like 3,000, I believe. This one you can go up to 5,000, but it was my first time. I've been through a lot of clan games, and that was my first time maxing it out. So yeah, so that was my main base, but now onto this one. So I don't know if I showed this last time, but all 3 of my archer towers are now max level 8. Mega Tesla's level 2, and then I'm currently upgrading my air bombs to level 7, so I'll be pretty darn good. I don't know if I showed any of this last time, but most mortar level 7, roaster level 7. I set these 2 bombs to air to handle some witch bats and stuff, and then all 3 of my Teslas are level 7, so I might as well start upgrading those a little more. And then, yeah, that's my last statue. I showed that last time, but that's that. So I just moved that bomb over to there. But yeah, so that's, and I don't know if I showed this either, but all my wall has been level 5 for a while now, but these 4 pieces of wall around my builder hall, I did upgrade it, to level 6, and then of course I upgraded my giant cannon to level 6 as well, but I believe that's pretty much it. I don't know if I showed this last time, but both my double cannons are level 7 as well. Yeah, so I also did get pretty high on trophies. My previous high used to be like 3,400 something, now it's 3,629, so I always like go up and down very rapidly. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for my Clash of Clans account update. So yeah, pretty big one. Yeah, so just a few things for the next one. Of course, this cannon will be most likely by the next one. This cannon will be level 12, and a few other things on the base. And then on this one, just that, of course, that will be level at least level 7, if not level 8, and a few other ththings. So yeah, but that's it for now. And for this day vlog. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Oh yeah, the last thing I forgot to show. Right here, one more drawing. I drew it actually, I believe, just the day before I drew the Bastille one. But, yeah, Cable. I forgot to show this, but, of course, you guys know I gave my review on Deadpool 2 recently, a couple weeks ago. And, I just drew this because I really like how he looked in the movie, and, just wanted to draw this to give him some love or whatever, and also I added Juggernaut for a little extra. But yeah, so I forgot to show this. I didn't have it on my notes, so I forgot it, but I hung it up on my superhero drawing wall and stuff. But yeah, so I just drew Cable right there, his name, with like kind of the cracked stone look, and then a little clock as the circle and the A, since he's a time traveler. And then of course Cable in his cool little pose with his ginormous gun / grenade launcher. And then his metal arm with the orange and stuff in it, his little grenades, the metal peeking onto his neck, and then his little eye, which you can see it has some orange glare going off right there, projecting, kind of doing his cool little hologram projecting thing. And I don't know how well you can see that, but there is some orange throughout there, and then signature right there, and then right there it just says Juggernaut with little gear, and then the Juggernaut from Deadpool 2. And then, of course, his daughter's teddy bear and just his legs and the gun, the pistol right there, 3 extra mags, and yeah, just all that. So really, I do like that drawing. It didn't take me as long as I thought. Did also draw a little shadow right there just to make it, I don't know why you can see that either, but yeah, just to make that a little more 3D as well. But I can't believe I completely forgot to add that to my notes. But at least I didn't forget to show it in this day vlog at all. But I just had to get this video out of the way, just to give you guys an update and get all my thoughts out for now. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.